People controlled him. They controlled him, they did what they wanted, and it was very difficult for him to say no, no, no.
We are talking about none other, the king of pop, Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was born on August 19th of 1958. When he was a young child, he was part of the Jackson 5 band with his family. He had this amazing, powerful voice that just took everyone aback. Over his lifetime, he developed a disease called vitiligo, according to him, and that's why Michael's skin color changed to a very, very pale shade. And a lot of people think that he purposely did that he didn't want his skin to be dark anymore, so he changed it. But if you look, his biological children also have problems with vitiligo. Michael Jackson also experimented a lot with plastic surgery, so he was very known for completely altering his appearance over his lifetime. In his lifetime, he had sold over 750 million albums worldwide and had so many top songs. It is unbelievable. He was just so popular worldwide and so talented, and he was worth over $2 billion in his lifetime worth. I don't think any of us can imagine like what that kind of fame would be like and how stressful, and it might sound cool, but like, can you imagine living that every day? Because I cannot. Towards the end of Michael's life, he had some issues with prescription pain medication. He had a full-time doctor, Dr. Conrad Murray. It was reported, maybe even earlier than this, but around 6 months before he even died, that he was having issues with the pain, that his health was deteriorating, and these rumors were kind of already out there, but he was in the middle of rehearsing for his This Is It tour, which was supposed to be this huge tour, a really big tour, his like final tour, and he was going to sing and dance, and I guess he was just working his off on this. And this was back in 2009. I will never forget the day that I found out that Michael Jackson died. It was just so weird. Like, the world went into shock. People were so upset. Like, fans were just devastated. People had so much grief. His family was so upset. It was very, very sad. Tons of celebrities made statements on it, of course, and it was just a really emotional time. At his funeral, there's obviously tons of famous people there, but one thing that people thought was kind of strange and what kind of started all of the conspiracy theories is that the casket was closed. It's kind of odd for the casket to be closed, especially like for a celebrity. Many people thought it was odd that they didn't have the casket open and figured that maybe it was because Michael Jackson didn't actually die, or his death was staged, or he was some other type of way, because there'd be nothing wrong with his face or his body if he had heart failure. He would look just fine to be like viewed. Now this is when all the sketchy stuff starts coming in. The biggest thing that just gets me is his whole family seems to think that Michael was. Not only did his family think that, his family reported that Michael said several times that they were gonna kill him. His son Paris said that before he died, he kept saying that he was worried someone was gonna kill him. He'd get off the phone crying after talking to his concert promoter, which was AEG Live. He had a very tumultuous relationship with them, but I'll get into that in a sec. But LaToya Jackson thinks he was murdered and said that he told her multiple times that he thought he was gonna be killed soon.
People controlled him. They controlled him, they did what they wanted, and it was very difficult for him to say no, no, no.
Michael Jackson was known for kind of having beef with the music industry.
Tommy Mottola is the president of the record division. He is a mean, he's a racist, and he's very, very, very devilish. The record companies really do conspire against their artists.
So Dr. Conrad Murray had to go to court for the death of Michael Jackson. Now this medication was apparently prescribed by Dr. Conrad Murray, but many people have said, why on earth would you give this? This is not a common treatment for insomnia. During the trial, LaToya actually said that she thought that he was just kind of like the patsy, like just taking the fall for everyone else. And here's what's interesting. He was hired by AEG Live. So a lot of people think, well, maybe AEG Live forced him to kill Michael Jackson, but why would they want to kill their money-making machine, right? Michael wasn't as popular as he used to be. He was still very popular, don't get me wrong. But if someone were to die, their music sales skyrocket. It's just what happens. So if Michael died, they knew that they could make a ton of money because iTunes sales go up, you know, concert sales, movies, I mean, there's so much. So many people think that AEG hired Conrad Murray to Michael and would make it look like he just overdosed on accident, but told him, you're gonna have to take the fall for this, but when you get out of jail, he was only sentenced to 4 years of prison, he would get a very large payment, and so it wouldn't really matter that his medical career was clearly over at this point. Like, you can't come back from that. So maybe he had a huge settlement to do this. Apparently the medication that he overdosed on would take effect and knock you unconscious within 40 seconds of injection, so it'd almost be impossible for Michael to even overdose himself on something like this. Another weird thing is that Conrad Murray refused to sign his death certificate, almost like he didn't think he was actually dead or didn't think the cause was accurate. The surveillance footage from Michael's house, he had this huge house. Anyway, there's a lot of surveillance footage used in the case in general, but 24 hours before Michael's death, it was all on a tape that apparently got lost. So it was omitted from the case completely. So this leaves people with all kinds of ideas for conspiracies that could have happened. The main one would be that he was taken out by the music industry, by AEG Live or something like that. Apparently, the day before Michael died, according to his son Prince, Randy Phillips, who was the CEO of AEG Live, came to one of his rehearsals and was yelling at people and yelling at Dr. Conrad Murray. Prince said he remembers his father being really upset and saying, "They're going to kill me." I mean, I guess we can't fully believe his son, but like, why would he make that up? And his whole family really believes this. His daughter Paris recently came out, I think it was on Vogue, with a whole thing saying that she thinks her father was murdered. So that's really like one big conspiracy theory. Now the other conspiracy that people have is that he's still alive, that he faked his own death. But a lot of people think that there are many celebrities, especially the ones that like die young or overdose or have a lot of like just weirdness around their death, are actually faking their own death because they want to escape fame. And I think that kind of makes sense because I can't even imagine like the stress of the paparazzi and everyone in your all the time. There are people out there that think that Michael told his family to pretend that they thought he was to create confusion around it, which just seems kind of weird, but, or that he told magazines to put out fake stories or like paid them to put out stories that he was sick. I don't really understand why you'd like disappear right before like a huge show that he was literally spending hours and hours rehearsing for every day. There are many people that think that Michael Jackson actually lives in Canada now, in Ontario, and that he lives in this like bungalow kind of away from everyone. Apparently someone moved into this house like right after he died and has been like very secretive, and whenever they ask about the guy that lives there, they're just like, oh, he's private, he's secret. But a lot of people think that it's actually Michael Jackson living in this house. Someone who lived near the house said that they saw like a ton of moving vans like right after he died, and that it was all like really secret, like guys in suits, and that there are people going in there like covering their faces. So there's tons of like Michael Jackson sightings, but a lot of them could be fake. I'll put in some clips.
Yes, you've got a good shot.
Okay. Oh, Michael Jackson?
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson was actually in a lot of debt, and a lot of people think that maybe he knew that the only way to pay off his debt was to pretend he died so he could get all this money and sales and everything. But like, I don't know, it's very complicated and confusing. There's so much about Michael Jackson and conspiracy theories, so I definitely wasn't able to talk about everything, but I hope you guys found this video interesting. But that's it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and are having a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.